All right. Hi, everyone. It's week 3 of Oil Mob training, and I thought I fixed my camera, and it's still not fixed. So sorry about that. I'm on my phone. There might be an echo. Hopefully, it's not too bad. I'm going to turn it over to Chelsea real quick, and then I'll work on this. But this is week 3, and tonight we're basically going to help all new shares builders do the most important thing, and that is making that list. And once you have that list, then you're always going to have something to go back to. If you've been building for a while, this may sound super simple, but when's really the last time that you looked at your list? And is your list organized? Do you need to update it and move some people off your list that have enrolled, put more people on? Really make sure that you always have a list. And so this is going to be a huge reminder, and Chelsea's going to give some awesome tips about how she's constantly building her network, constantly building her list. There's a saying, your net worth is equal to your network. So we're constantly supposed to be building a list and getting emails, name, contacts, relationships. It's BOGO week, so why not go through our list and text all the customers that haven't ordered in 6 months or longer and reconnect with them. Let them know it's BOGO week. They're not going to see you all the time, and just say, hey, I'll text you every day if you want me to. This is a great way to stock back up on all those oils. Let's chat, whatever. People love BOGO week. So Chelsea, I'm going to turn it over to you, and she's going to teach us how to launch. And then after, we're going to open it back up for questions, and I will record those as well. So Chelsea, you ready?
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Steph. Hey, everyone. I'm really excited that you all are able to jump on live tonight. I'm really excited to talk about launching. Just like Steph said, building a list of 100 or more, keeping that list at 100 or more, and really booking 3 classes and just jumping into it is so important. And it's going to set the tone for the rest of your business, believe it or not. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. If you guys don't know me, my name is Chelsea, and I'm a Gold in doTERRA. I'm in for about 2 years now almost, which is crazy. That really flew by. I actually do this with my husband, who would love to be here, and normally we teach together, but he's actually at tennis, and hopefully he won't have to do 3,000 things at once very soon. So that's our goal, is to get him out. My dog is also next to me snoring very loudly, so if you hear that, I apologize. Dad's usually the babysitter, so we just might have to walk through this snoring. It's really loud, actually. So like I said, tonight is all about launching. And really, if you're new to this, you might have had your upline talk to you about it. If you're not new to doTERRA, you always could relaunch. I am constantly relaunching because this is all about duplication. You want this momentum to really trickle down throughout your whole entire team. And it's all about high volume in a short amount of time. So if you have gone through the build guide or launch guide, awesome. If not, these are 2 tools that you really need to start using. The build guide is awesome just to look at some ranks. You can find it on sharesuccess.com/build, and we'll post all of these with the recording as well. But it's good to look at your ranks, the different ranks of doTERRA, the different incomes. It's going to help you start off. But what I love about the build guide is in the back of it, it has a nice little place where you can start your list of 100. You can write down names. You can then choose if you see them as, a sharer, or just a user, or maybe even a builder. Once you're brainstorming, you might think of someone and say, oh my gosh, they would be a great builder. And you can circle the little builder star next to their name. So love the build guide for that reason. The next is the launch guide. And I am constantly looking at the launch guide. I'm constantly telling my builders to look at the launch guide. It's really a step-by-step guide that's going to walk you through a true launch. And if you're doing this true launch, your team's going to do the true launch, their team will start doing a true launch, and you'll see this really start to duplicate. The launch guide references the build guide too, so they work really well together. And that one you can find on sharesuccess.com/launch. So you can download both PDF versions. If you haven't looked at it yet, make sure you hop on those and start with that. The first step in the launch guide is to make that list of 100. So go ahead and take a look at those. Like I said, we'll post the links for them as well. All right, so we'll get down into the nitty-gritty of this. Your list of 100. If you have not created your list of 100, this is the first thing that I want you to do. Start it tonight, finish it tomorrow. Really, you always want to have a list that you can constantly follow up on. You never want to just have a moment in your business where you stop and you don't have anyone to talk to and you don't know who to talk to next. So we have this really awesome chart that helps break down your network. And I'm just going to pull it up really quickly. Okay. So if you guys can't see this, let me know. But this is an awesome way to help break down your network. It's going to help you brainstorm your network. So a lot of people will say, okay, I know my close family and my close friends, and maybe you know some of their friends, and then you get stuck, right? You stop and say, okay, who do I share with next? But this is a great chart that we'll post about how to really dig deeper into your network, because believe it or not, you know a lot more people than you think you do. That person you had a quick conversation with at a bed and breakfast, the woman who made you breakfast at the bed and breakfast, the guy who was at the car wash that helped dry off your car. There's so many people that we interact with daily, and we just, we create that relationship and we walk away from it, but we can really benefit from this. So this is a great chart to help us break it down, help us brainstorm. We can say, oh yeah, that's right, I talk to that bartender every, other Friday while I'm there. So really go deep into your warm market, because it's a lot bigger than you actually think it is. So we'll share this. I love it. It's a great way to just get started with your list, or it's a great way to expand your list. If you've never done the list, this is awesome way to think outside of just the family and the friends. I love how I can just keep sharing different screens here. Okay, hopefully guys you can see. Let me know if you can't, if I'm back at my slides or not. Awesome. So one of the biggest things that we tell people is not to pre-qualify. So while you're making your list, you might have someone who you say, maybe they're not really into natural solutions, or I can't see them being interested in this. Don't do that. Never, ever, ever pre-qualify. And I will give you a quick story as to why not to do that. My husband and I, when we first started with doTERRA, we posted a status online on our Facebook page saying, we're really excited, we're starting something new. And we got a Facebook message from a girl, and I think she's on tonight, who I never really had any communication with at all. And she messaged us and say, hey, what's this all about? What are you guys doing? And I said, let's meet for dinner. And so we met up. She signed up with an Every Oil kit. She's one of our builders now. And then she enrolled someone with an Every Oil kit. And then that person enrolled someone with an Every Oil kit. And this was all within a couple weeks of each other. And she would have never been in my list of 100, mainly because she's not really in my close circle of friends. Now she is. But I would have totally pre-qualified as someone I just probably wouldn't have talked to. And now it's becoming a whole big leg of ours. So don't pre-qualify anyone. Don't think that anyone might not be interested or doesn't want to hear what you have to say. Like Erica said last week, it's all about confidence. Be confident about what you're saying, because everyone needs it. So don't go in and really pre-qualify. Also, don't pre-qualify who might be interested in building with you. So if you have someone in mind who you think would be a great business partner, talk to them about it. Set up a 3-way call with your upline. This is something that a lot of people will hold back from, and they'll think about it nightly. I mean, I've had this before where I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I could just reach out to her and let her know how awesome she is and how much I want to work with her, maybe she'd say yes. So set up three-way calls. If there's someone on your list of 100 that you think would be awesome at doTERRA and they would just absolutely kill it, talk to them. Say, hey, I'm doing this awesome opportunity. I would love to get you involved. I'm just so excited. Can we just have a three-way talk with my upline? My business partner, you can even say. Let's get on the phone and just have a quick three-way talk so I can just talk to you about what I'm doing, what our team's doing. I really want you to be involved. So set up those three-way calls. Take advantage of your upline leaders, and don't be afraid to do that. Also, use your social media. If you don't have social media, that's okay. It would be smart to start getting involved, start using Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, because you can just scroll through your news feed and one day and probably find 10 people complaining about something that they need something for. And it's really easy to just send them a quick message, add them to your list of 100, send them a message saying, hey, I saw you mentioned you were suffering from A, B, and C. I would love to send you some samples and get you invited to one of my classes. So use that social media to your advantage. Also, Steph mentioned the other day, most people have over 200 friends on Facebook. There's your list. That's even more than your list of 100. Most of us are constantly adding new friends on Facebook. So use that. Don't be afraid to contact someone that you haven't talked to in a couple years. Connect with them, build that relationship back up, ask how their life's going, see where they're at. But don't ever be afraid to reach out to someone just because you haven't talked to them for so long. Rebuild those connections. Use social media to your advantage. So if you really want to go for it, your list does not have to stop at 100. In fact, I encourage you to keep going after you hit the 100. Brainstorm even more where you can go with this. It does not have to stop at 100. And if you really, really want to launch, go for it. That's going to be the best thing for you, is to have a really long list that you can constantly work off of. But at the same time, don't ever let it dip below 100. So what we like to do, and this constantly pushes us to network, which in a few weeks, Erica, I believe, will be talking about this. But what we do is when we have someone on our list who has enrolled, they're on their LRP, which is really important. If they're not on LRP, they go to a different list of ours, but they're never off the list. But if they've enrolled and they're on our LRP list, or even if they've done that, maybe they're already on their LRP, we find someone else to replace their spot on our list of 100. We'll network, or we'll brainstorm more. We'll create more relationships. So we can constantly keep building that list of 100. We never let it dip below 100. So make sure you don't have that issue. You always want to keep it full, keep it abundant. And if that means just creating more friendships, then go out there and start making more friendships. Go to meetups, BNIs, things like this. All we will touch on in a few weeks. But never let that list go below the 100. And also, I learned this from Steph. Never take someone off your list until they actually say, stop talking to me. I am not and never will be interested, which has never happened for me yet. I've had people who don't answer after, 10 conversations, but no one's ever told me, leave me alone. So until they actually say that to you, do not take them off your list. Until they literally come out and say to you, don't talk to me anymore. They stay on your list. Because eventually someone will come around. Maybe oils just aren't right for them right now. And this is something we have learned. We have talked to people for about 2 years it took for have them signing up. And then, they signed up with a kit. They love the oils. They're on LRP. A lot of them are coworkers with Rob who just didn't want to get involved. And now all of a sudden there's oils all over his school. So you can't ever think that just because they say no right now, that it means forever, because it is not true. That's a whole mindset shift that we have to make. So don't take them off that list until they actually say, okay, I'm starting a restraining order, because they want oils. It just might not be the right time right now. All right, so create a system. This is really important. When you make your list and you're having these conversations, you'll see really quickly how fast these conversations happen. And you want to keep tabs on every conversation and with every single contact. Because one day you're going to say, oh my gosh, what did so-and-so say the last time I talked to him? Or where is this person at? And did I sample them? And what did they like about the samples? And how many times have I talked to the person this week? But you want to make a system to really help you keep track of all this. So there's a couple of things that we use, and it's really about finding the right one for you. So this takes some trial and error. I will admit, this does take some trial and error. So you really have to find the right system. But try a bunch out and see what works. So there's a couple of things. Trello is a great app to use. It's not for everyone. It's a great way of organizing. I personally love it. You need something very organized. Also, an Excel sheet, a simple Excel sheet. I know Excel sheets can kind of freak some people out. Even like when the little Excel button jumps in the bottom, it kind of, everyone wants to just exit out really quickly. But if you're an Excel person, we have an awesome PDF, which is just simple. It's name, email, phone number, how many times you've contacted them, if you've sampled them out, what samples and why, the notes that you have on them, your last date of contact. But you want to keep a track of all of this. You can even use a whiteboard. Have a big whiteboard. If that's how you like to do it, do that, and then erase them once they're off that list. Intuit is a great tool that they are adding notes to soon. So they don't yet, but it's a great contact management system that they will eventually add notes to. And Erica, you mentioned one that you used week one, I believe, that you can add notes to already. So Erica, if you can chat that, or I'm sure maybe you've posted it already. So there's a lot of systems out there, but make sure you figure that out now. Create that system to keep a track of everything that you're doing so you don't all of a sudden become overwhelmed and confused with who you've talked to and when you talk to them and all of that. All right, so picking 3 dates. And I want you to pick 3 dates right now. And I'm very serious about this. Pick them right now. Open up your calendar and pick 3 dates right now. So how do you pick dates? What dates do you pick? What makes sense? What time of days are better for others? And this is what we do here in the Messer household. And it depends really on how you want to launch, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this is an example of one of our class calendars, and you'll have to excuse me, it's a little small. But we'll have 1 week that is consistent every single month. And the reason why we do consistency and at least 3 classes is because when someone says to you, oh, I can't make that date, you can say, oh, that's okay, because I've got this date, and this date. Which one's better for you? And usually no one says no. If you give them 4 different dates, they're not going to say, oh, I'm busy on all 4 of those dates. Especially if you scatter the times, which is another really good tip, is make sure you have different classes at different times. So for example here, we always do a brunch and learn on the first Sunday of the month, and that's at 11 a.m. And then I do a class, just an Essential Oil 101 class on Tuesday at 10 a.m. And then Thursday at 6:30 p.m. And then I also have a Saturday at 11. So I have morning classes and I have night classes. So if you scatter them, usually you can cover everyone and their availability. So also with the consistency, they can always count on it. You can always say, oh, maybe this month doesn't work, but I'm having the same amount of classes, the same times next month. So you want consistency. You always want classes to invite people to. But when you launch, what's most important is committing to at least 3 dates. That's all about that volume, high volume, in a short amount of time. So really don't let anything hold you back. Don't let knowledge hold you back. A lot of people will say, I feel like I don't know enough, or I can't answer all of the questions. If I get a lot of questions, I don't know all of those answers. Don't let that hold you back. Don't let the fact that you think your warm market is small hold you back. Just launch. Like I said, this is really going to determine the rest of your business. That momentum, you're either going to start it and keep it going, or it's going to hold you back. So don't let it, right? Your upline is here for you. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear of teaching in front of people hold you back. You have an awesome upline. If they are local to you and you are new, or you still need help teaching, Normally what we do is we come in, we help teach your first class, and then your second class, you help co-teach with us. We close, then your third class, maybe you close or you teach the whole class, but we do it gradually to help you out. We're here. Don't let it stop you. Definitely reach out to your upline, schedule times that work for them. And if you don't have an upline local, that's okay. Schedule time with your upline, Zoom with them, figure out a way to get you comfortable teaching, but don't let it hold you back. That's the most important thing. Do not let the fear of that hold you back. I've even taught classes via Zoom with someone else until they were comfortable, and it worked out really well. So there's always a way, guys. There's always a way you can do this. And figure out what kind of launch is good for you. A lot of people are really successful with the week launch where they say, okay, this is the week I'm launching. I'm going to put 3 classes in this week. So then for the couple weeks following up to that, they sample out, they invite to these 3 classes, and then they get it all done in 1 week. And that's their launch. And a lot of people will launch in a month, and they'll pick maybe a Saturday class the first week, a Wednesday class the second week, maybe a Friday class the last week of the month, and they'll launch in a month. So definitely talk to your upline, figure out which launch is best for you. A lot of people love that week launch because then they have the next week to follow up, the next week, and do wellness consults and LRPs and overviews. So definitely think about which launch is best for you. All right. So we have some awesome bonus material here. Make sure you have all your materials ready to go. And Nikki and I are going to go into about teaching a class, so I won't talk too much on that. But just make sure you have all of your materials ready to go as you're thinking about launching. So there's going to be class in a box brochures, and all this we will really cover next week too. All your samples, your wild orange samples for the class. And really prepare yourself on how to book classes from classes. So there's a great video that Steph has from a leadership circle that we did by Diane Shepard, which really teaches you how to book those classes from classes, which will help you continue launching, as I like to say. So if you launch with 3 classes and each class you can book a class from the class, then all of a sudden you have another week of 3 classes. So it's like another launch, which is really awesome. So you want to keep that momentum going. So that's a great video that we'll share with you guys. Okay, so that's all I have today. I do have some homework for you guys, and I will actually be doing the homework with you. So I want you to make your list of 100 or more. And if you've already made your list of 100, I challenge you to add on like another 50. And if you feel like you really have no one that you can brainstorm, go out and network to get 50. This month, I want you to really, really add to that list or make your initial list. I want you to sample and start conversations. This is how we grow that list. Maybe the lady behind you in the grocery store sneezes, or you hear her cough. Pull out your Breathe, pull out your UnGuard, pull out anything that you have on you and say, hey, this is really going to help you. Really get out there. Don't be afraid to share. Use the tools that we have, the keychains that we have. I have an awesome wallet where I have all of my sample bottles in, and then I also put my cards and all of my cash in it. So anytime I go to pay for something, I'm opening my wallet and you can see all of the vials. And that always starts a conversation because people look at me and say, what is in your wallet? And I'm like, oh, here, you want one? So start those conversations, add people to your list. I want you all to have a 3-way call with your gold leader and tell them that you've decided to launch. Even if you've already been in this for a long time, relaunch, guys. This is awesome. This is something that you can always constantly do. So talk with your gold upline, tell them you're launching, get them on board. They're going to help you schedule this out. They're going to help you brainstorm and plan it. And then I want you to launch. Book those classes. By next week, you should have 3 classes booked. Decide if you want to do it in a week or decide if you want to do it in a month. But just do it. Just launch, guys. All right. I think there's oh, you want to see my wallet? I don't have it with me. Actually, I might have it on the table in the Q&A. I'll actually go grab it and show it. It's really cool. It's got some awesome vials. I think it was from my oil gear or shareoils.com, one of those. But it's a really, really great tool to start those conversations, especially if at first you're kind of nervous to start it yourself. Usually when someone sees it, they start it for you, and then it's easier for you to kind of go with it. So I'll definitely go in and pull that out. But Steph, I am going to turn it over to you. Obviously, we're here for questions, and this is one of the best parts. But that was my short and sweet way to launch, and so I believe in you guys. And don't let anything hold you back from your launch. It's the biggest piece of advice. I've seen it time and time again where people let it hold them back. So thanks, guys, for letting me share all that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chels. And we are going to stop the recording and then restart the recording for the question. So stay on, and we will be available.